Hi, welcome to the Best of Flagstaff. I'm Morgan Boatman, and today we're with Nick and Seth from Timberline Ice Cream. Nick and Seth, tell me a little bit about Timberline Ice Cream.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Well, it kind of started in an interesting way. This is back in 2020 during the pandemic when things had just started to reopen. And here we're driving around Flagstaff kind of looking for our ice cream fix at the time. And kind of slowly realized that there wasn't any ice cream in Flagstaff other than your couple corporate options and then your drive-through options. And
I never thought of that.
It was just one of those kind of spur-of-the-moment cravings that we had during the pandemic that turned into if we can't find it in town, let's start making it at home. And since we were blessed with, all of us were blessed with spending a lot of time at home during those times. So I took full advantage of it, started using my little tabletop cuisine art ice cream maker and making some very, very small batches, but trying out different flavors, different combinations of milk and cream and sugar, learning a lot about just the science behind ice cream, which you'd think, there's some knowing, fat content, the amount of air that goes into ice cream, but then the more you start to learn about it, it really does have this kind of scientific element to it, which is really cool.
Wow.
It's chemistry, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
especially
you learned how to make ice cream, and now you have a shop. And where is it located?
We are over in Kachina Shopping Square, which is 2710 N Steves Blvd, suite number 26, right next to that Circle K. Yeah. There's a really beautiful mural in there, and so if you find that mural, you'll find the ice cream.
Oh, nice.
Follow the mural.
Follow the mural. Nice, good tip. So you learned a ton about the chemistry of ice cream. What's special about your ice cream?
I think the ingredients make it the most special, other than the people that make it, obviously. But no, I think what we put into it. And so something that we noticed, the ice cream we ate when we growing up, main base ingredient was corn syrup. And so at that point, it was finding just an alternative that was better. But it seemed like every ice cream that I tended to favor always had corn syrup. And there's nothing wrong with it. But I was just wanting something that had a little bit better ingredients. And at that point, the stuff that I'm making at home had no corn syrup, yet I could produce some really, really good ice cream just on my tabletop ice cream maker. Yeah. And so at that point, it was like, you know what, let's take this to the next level. And by that, I mean calling and really reaching out to the dairy farms and figuring out what's available, who has what we need, which is the most important part. And we did try the Arizona dairies, and they were good. I do really enjoy what they're doing here in Arizona, but it just didn't yield the flavor that we were looking for in the ice cream. It had kind of an aftertaste that wasn't favorable to us. And so
it really came out once you froze the ice cream. Before it was frozen, it was really mild, but once you actually produced the ice cream, that aftertaste was...
Oh, I see what you're saying. So the mixture, before it's turned into ice cream, has one flavor, but the process of making it ice cream, that changed it.
Yeah, it can slightly alter the flavor after you harden it.
Wow, so there really is chemistry involved. It's like...
Yes.
Especially
it's almost magic.
And then, freezing it too. We throw it into a negative 30-degree freezer right after we make it to rapidly freeze it to prevent crystals from developing. And so that has to do more with texture. But I also think sometimes you have to be really careful if you're using any type of flavoring, because you might, same thing, you try it in the base, it won't come through as strong. You freeze it, and then it's the first thing you taste on every bite. And so it's fun. There's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of mistakes being made. Fortunately, it's cream and sugar, and it's really difficult to mess up cream and sugar. But you can, trust me. But I think what makes it really different is that we use organic cream, organic milk, organic sugar, and organic eggs. And that's where we start.
Wow.
That's our base for all of our ice cream. And then we really get to build flavors from those four.
And you're saying you source those from the producers.
Regionally. And so we get it from just outside of San Francisco. It's about 12 and a half hours away. And it's not Arizona, and I would love it to be Arizona, but the quality, it's organic. It's the best stuff that we could find within the region. And in the ice cream making business, not to knock any other businesses out there, but a lot of people, when they start an ice cream business, they source their milk from big-time distributors that sell you essentially bags of mixed milk that has a certain fat content. And so you don't really know where your milk is coming from. It could be a mixed variety. It has long shelf life, which is great. But when you're getting kind of this basic milk, which I think is why a lot of ice cream has kind of that basic flavor.
Interesting.
With ours, you taste the quality of the ingredients. And honestly, I do think people have traveled and they've experienced good ice cream in places that are known for food.
Right.
I don't think Flagstaff has ever had that, where you come here, like, hey, we have great ice cream.
It's delicious. I love mint. It has a great combo of the mint and then lots of the chocolate flakes. It's delicious.
Have you come here before?
No,
This is your first time?
we're from Minneapolis on vacation. So we're enjoying and indulging.
And so for a lot of people that have never left Flagstaff, this honestly is the first time they've ever actually had super premium, high quality, locally made ice cream.
You think people can really taste the difference?
I know they can.
I'll have the other one because I'm late.
Oh, that's good.
We were going to put up there like Timberline Ice Cream too good to share or something.
Oh yeah. Like I might eat yours too.
What do you think?
Amazing.
What do you like about it?
It's so creamy and so fresh. It's so restoring.
How does it taste?
It tastes so fruitful.
And lemony.
And now that you've shared yours, how's yours?
This one is really good. You can taste the fresh blueberries in it, and the cheesecake chunks are awesome. But honestly, I don't know how I could choose between either one of these. They're just so good. Yeah. But our favorite spot for sure.
What happens when you taste real ice cream?
There's no going back.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Everything else tastes terrible. I will admit that.
once you've had the good stuff, you just can't go back. It's such an amazing difference. And you don't notice it until you've had
Yeah, you
high
can't describe
quality
it.
ice cream. Yeah.
Wow. I've been in Flagstaff for a long time, and I know we haven't had any kind of specialty ice cream.
Yeah. And I never even thought it would be ice cream. It was one of those cravings that happened. And I'm really glad it happened. And just love being in the kitchen, love playing around, love chemistry. And so it all just kind of merged together in this perfect storm of sweetness.
Perfect storm of sweetness. That's great. What are some of the flavors? What's your favorite flavor, and where do you source the ingredients from? The flavor ingredients.
Do you want to take that one first?
One of my all-time favorites is our blueberry cheesecake flavor. And I can't even describe how amazing it is. Like, I will find myself outside of the shop daydreaming about eating the blueberry cheesecake flavor because it's that good. And it's incredible.
Does it have real blueberries in it?
Yes, it does.
Oh, yeah. No artificial anything in any of our ice cream.
Wait,
any of our flavors.
Say that again. No
artificial
flavors, no artificial
anything
colors.
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why did you, besides the flavor, why did you decide to go that route?
I mean, even just doing like a cost analysis at the very beginning, seeing what the cheap stuff costs, seeing what the kind of middle of the road stuff costs, and seeing what, quote, expensive additives would cost. And honestly, it's on a scale that we're talking here, for us, we're pennies, dollars. It's not a big enough scale to really make my product worse. And so I don't mind getting all the natural colorings. And so our green comes from spirulina, our orange comes from annatto seeds, and our red comes from beet juice concentrate. and it's beautiful colorings too. And so there's no need to use artificial. There's no need to have a yellow and followed with a number behind it. And so one of our goals was just to keep everything clean and simple. It doesn't have to have all these preservatives. Freezing, the process of freezing, especially as we do it rapid freezing, that is in its own way preserving the ice cream. And so
This is our hardening cabinet, also known as a blast freezer, which gets all the way down to -30. Right now it's at -25. But we put our ice cream in here to rapidly freeze it, which prevents ice crystals from forming in the ice cream. And then once the core temperature hits -20, as long as you keep the ice cream below 0 degrees, it has a shelf life of 6 months.
But there's just no reason to add all these extra ingredients that are unnecessary. And there's ways. We don't color a lot of our flavors, but I think the ones that we do, like orange creamsicle. I feel like you can do an orange creamsicle and have it be white just like a vanilla bean, but the whole fun is having that beautiful orange color. And so the annatto seed, depending on how much you add, you can get a really nice kind of yellowish orange color or go a little darker to like kind of like a blood orange red. So just using those all natural ingredients and again, keeping it simple. And so if we're adding strawberries, you can't just add ingredients. And so if you're out there, wanting to make your own ice cream, don't just add strawberries to your ice cream because they will freeze like ice chunks.
Yes.
And so you have to treat them in certain ways, take some of the moisture out of them, add sugar to them somehow. But you don't have to do anything beyond adding a little bit more sugar. And so you're hesitant at first because you're like, oh no, ice cream, I don't want to add more sugar. But then you're like, oh yeah, we're making a dessert that is literally based upon sugar. So
you've gone
supposed to be
so
sweet.
deep into it. What was the most surprising thing that you learned about ice cream or making ice cream?
The quality standards. To me, I think that was shocking because the more you start to realize kind of what you can do at home, what you're capable of, and just the fat content I'm talking about. So like a super premium ice cream is what we make. It's considered like the top tier level of ice cream. And so I want to say Haagen-Dazs qualifies in that category. There's a couple other store brands that do, but it's 14 to 16% butter fat. It's 45 to 55% overrun, which means how much air you put into the ice cream. If like 100% overrun, for example, would be which would mean your product is 50% air. A lot of those lower end ice creams at the grocery store, the ones that are very cheap, which is people always ask us why our price is a little bit more. It's because we're not selling you air. We're selling you an ice cream, and gelato has like less overrun, so it's a little richer, a little thicker.
Yes.
Our product, I would say, is a nice blend between a gelato and like a Ben and Jerry's ice cream. And so take that, mix it together, and you create this awesome product that we make.
So if I go to your store, what can I expect?
You're gonna very kind staff, ready to serve you.
Can I buy a cone and can I bring some home?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Cone, cup. We have to-go pints. Those quantities could be getting bigger in the future just because people keep asking for more. And so those are the current options right now, though. To-go pints. We can also do a half-pint cups. But I'd say if you're going to take some away from the shop, the pint is the best option. Our waffle cones are made in-house. Those are gluten-free and vegan. And so we have a lot of people, especially travelers, that come through, and they're just shocked that they actually get to experience a waffle cone. And I'm not to knock on gluten-free food, but this is one of the best gluten-free things I think I've ever eaten, period. Amazing flavor. Cinnamon, oat flour is the base of this, and then we add a coconut milk. So it's a very good waffle cone flavor that adds perfect to the ice cream. And again, simple, quality ingredients.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a great story about how making the right decisions, to source the wholesome and natural ingredients actually makes sense for a smaller company. Mm-hmm. It may not make sense for a big industrial manufacturer, but it's not that much more of difficult to make really good quality stuff.
Yeah, and that even goes over to packaging too. And so I know that might be a later question, but we don't skimp on the packaging either. I mean, we could be buying styrofoam and plastics like everyone else is doing, but everything from our 8-ounce to-go cups that we sell at the markets, those are compostable now. Fully compostable. They were recyclable. Now they're compostable. We use a blend of different wood spoons. Sometimes they're bamboo. Sometimes I believe they're either white or like a red oak. I think it's a white oak. And then we've had one person in the history of the business complain about the wooden spoons, and they preferred plastic, but they understood why we went with the wood spoons. Again, compostable or biodegradable at least, because most people don't have commercial composting facilities.
Right.
But our cups in the shop are a paper byproduct, a recycled paper byproduct that are also compostable. We don't use, the only plastics we use are our 3-gallon tubs, but we recycle those and we reuse them after we sterilize them. And so very minimal waste coming out of the business. Again, using the organic farming, organic farms, organic produce. And so really trying to minimize our footprint. Because ice cream can be a very wasteful industry. And packaging is part of that process, but also the process of making the ice cream can be very wasteful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we often, or we've heard about bakers who get there at 4 a.m. and start the process. What's a day in the life of Timberline ice cream?
A normal day.
Well, if you have some exceptions that it would be interesting, let me know.
Okay. Well, we've been in our shop for a year now.
Okay.
But before that, we were bouncing from kitchen to kitchen. And so our days have changed, kind of evolved over since we started the business. And so when we were bouncing kitchen to kitchen, those nights were going in at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and making ice cream till 2, 3 a.m. And then I have a second job, and so I'd be waking up at 7 to go to that second job and then kind of repeating that multiple nights a week. Fortunately, we have our own kitchen now, and so I don't have to go in at 10 o'clock, but it depends. It really feels like when I want to make ice cream, if I'm feeling it at 7 in the morning, I'll go in and I'll put on a movie and start making ice cream. We do a lot of the production while we're open. And so if you come in and grab a cone, I could be in the back and you might hear like a really loud fan blowing. That's essentially our ice cream maker doing its thing. But we're constantly making ice cream. We thought it was going to be maybe like a 1 or 2 day a week thing, have enough for the whole week. It's every day or every other day, depending on the time of the year, which is fine.
You said it doesn't last long,
No.
so to keep it fresh.
Yeah. A 3-gallon tub might last a day and a half in the shop.
3 gallons. Okay.
Big,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah. How many different flavors are available if I walk in?
Usually have around 10 to 12 every day.
Wow.
Which will include a non-dairy or 2.
Yeah.
Non-dairy.
We do a non-dairy
We
option
always
as well.
include at least one non-dairy flavor, which is coconut based.
Whenever somebody asks for a gluten-free scoop, we go get a fresh scoop every time to avoid contamination.
Nice.
It's amazing. The best compliment I think we get is when people come back and they go, "Are you sure this is non-dairy?" Yes, we did it. But our oldest brother, he is lactose intolerant and felt it's kind of torture creating an ice cream business and not letting him kind of be involved in trying some of them. So we wanted to do that just to make our flavors more inclusive for everybody. Our lemon berry was our first crossover flavor that we did in the non-dairy. And lemon berry is one of my personal favorites. It's a vanilla lemon cream with a strawberry jam. And I just felt, you know what, a coconut lemon cream with the coconut vanilla lemon cream with a strawberry jam would be even more perfect.
Yeah.
And it is. I think it's one of our top selling non-dairy flavors.
Wow.
And we even have someone come up from, I think she's from Prescott, but she will email us and let us know, and we will prepare 2 pints for her, and she comes and picks it up and takes it back to Prescott.
Nice.
Probably once or twice a month.
Oh yeah, there's no way to ship ice cream really, right?
I think you can do it dry ice.
It's very expensive.
Yeah. And risky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, here you go, USPS, here's some dry ice. And,
Yeah, if you get a 24-hour shipping delay, there goes your ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants this ice cream, they have to come to Flagstaff.
Right now, yeah. We're kind of slowly spreading throughout northern Arizona, though. a shop in Kingman, Scoops on 66. We supplied them with our ice cream, and so their shop sells our ice cream. So you can get a scoop there and a waffle cone. Meteor Crater sells our 8-ounce cups. Twin Arrows now sells our scoops. We sell 3-gallon tubs to them. Here in town, the game shop. There's a new game shop that just opened up in the Basha Shopping Center north of the hospital.
Okay.
They sell our ice cream in the 8-ounce cups, and Flag Tag here in town sells our 8-ounce cups. And that's the coolest part, I think, about the past couple months is getting so many offers. Just at, hey, are you interested in possibly selling in Phoenix? Hey, do you want to maybe sell more downtown? And so...
You mean you didn't seek it out? They came to you?
Yeah, which is really cool.
You know you've got a good product there. Wow.
Yeah. Which can be overwhelming just because we have a plan. It's already kind of overwhelming what we're doing right now, and I'm still working my second job, but we do want to stay in this business for a while. We want to stay in Flagstaff for ever, being local boys, and so the more we want to make sure we do it right. Whatever growth, whatever way we do it, we want to be sustainable, and we want to do it the right way.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Like, it seems like you've made the right decisions all along, and fortunately, success has found you.
Knock on wood.
So we know Seth's favorite flavor. What's your favorite flavor?
This is the fun part. Whenever people come into the shop, we get this question 10 times a day. I give the same answer, and that's all of them, because technically I make all of them, and so I make them to my liking.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm in the mood, kind of will determine what flavor I eat for that day. But if I had to pick one, it would be the lemon berry. It's the second flavor I came up with, and it has a little history. I used to be a cook. I tossed pizzas and worked a pasta line in this little Italian bistro in Tempe when I went to ASU.
Oh, okay.
And so I learned as much as I could from these two brothers who were from Naples, Italy, but they knew all their mom's recipes, and so I wanted to learn their mom's recipes. And one of those recipes was a Italian cream dessert, and it was like an egg yolk based, very rich, a very intense lemon cream flavor, but it was served with a shot of limoncello. So you'd take a little tiny bit of this cream and then have a little glass of limoncello, like a shooter. Maybe not shoot limoncello, but just sip on it. But the flavor profile was amazing, and it was something I always remembered. And it was like, I need to replicate this somehow. And when I started thinking ice cream, that was kind of the first flavor that popped into my mind, just because I still dream about that Italian. I don't even know what it was. It was, let's just call it a lemon meringue dessert. The Italian dessert. Maybe someone can come into the shop someday that's Italian or knows Italian cooking and can let me know what type of lemon meringue-like dessert comes out of Naples, Italy.
Wow.
Would be greatly appreciated. But I think I nailed the flavor profile. That vanilla lemon cream that you taste in the ice cream is that exact flavor I remember. And then we make a in-house strawberry jam, and I just love strawberries anyway. But turning it into a jam, you're just making it better. And that marbled throughout the ice cream. It's just not only beautiful to look at, it's one of our prettiest scoops, in my opinion. I just think you can't beat that. It's not tart at all, but you get that sweet lemon flavor with the sweet strawberry in a creamy base. And oh my goodness, I'm salivating thinking about it. But I would have to say that's my favorite, just because I think about it all the time.
Wow.
Day and night.
You obviously have an appreciation for food and flavors and aesthetics. What's your background? What do you... Where does that come from?
Oh my goodness. I'm just a fan of eating, and that's been my whole... I'm the youngest of 3 boys, but I feel like maybe that's the competitive nature of me, just trying to get as much food as possible before my older brothers got to it. But no, we both have spent... I'll let Seth speak for himself, but we both have spent a lot of years in the food service industry.
Oh.
Various roles. I spent years, in the kitchen, mostly line cook. A lot of different line cooks, but I've also served, I've bartended, I've managed, and so I've done everything really in the restaurant world experience except been the owner. And it was always kind of in the back of my head, I could do this. I just don't know what I would want to do. I just needed to get away from working for other people in the restaurant industry. And this was kind of that perfect opportunity. But my background is in sustainability. My bachelor's is in sustainability from ASU, and then my master's is in sustainable communities from NAU.
Wow.
And so
all the pieces came together.
Yeah, and that was more towards like sustainable agriculture and nonprofit management. But it's somehow I kind of picked different pieces from different jobs that I've done. And it's always been about sustainability. It's always been about community. Yeah. And it wasn't too difficult to kind of integrate that into ice cream and a business. Amazing. And that's part of the reason why we practice all the sustainability packaging and just practices in general.
And that's an important decision as far as sustainability goes. There's the top down, but there's also the bottom up.
Yeah.
If we make the right decisions, then things will change.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, my background's all over the place, mostly in the food industry, but as of recently, nonprofit management.
It all comes together. It's almost like destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
You feel that way, Seth? How did you get into this?
I mean, I have worked customer service as long as I could remember. And eventually I ended up going into the food industry and doing front of house serving. I also did some back of house jobs, which weren't really to my liking. I prefer front of house, dealing with customers.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I never dreamed that we would have an ice cream shop, and then all of a sudden it just kind of fell into place. And both of our backgrounds are perfect. I mean, he's got a lot of the back of house experience. I've got a lot of the front of house experience. Yeah. We make a great team when we combine efforts, and it's just been a lot smoother than it could have been if we didn't have the backgrounds that we have.
Yes. I feel really bad for people that want to try to get into this industry and not having prior experience. Yeah. 15 years old was my first busing job. Maybe 12 plus years of experience in a kitchen before I even thought about opening up a place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, ice cream is one thing, but the whole business aspect.
Yeah.
What was a important moment in building a business?
Finding a place.
Oh yeah, Flagstaff is not easy
in this town. Yeah. For any of those that are familiar with the process, fortunately, we're a cold kitchen. Meaning we don't need like a fire suppression system full of vent hoods because we're not cooking anything like that. Yeah. And so that element made building a kitchen a lot easier than some people have if they wanted to do like a cafe or even a sandwich shop. But, the research it took just figuring out what the county rules were, that was one part of the business. And then you start to realize that ice cream is classified as a potentially hazardous food because it has ice cream. It has the milk and the egg element.
Oh, that can go bad.
Yeah.
I see.
And so at that point, because it is milk and eggs, you become regulated by the Arizona Department of Agriculture as well.
Oh, another thing to look out for.
Yeah, okay, and so there's all these different groups that I had to contact, get in touch with, and basically just have really good conversations with. And everyone was so helpful. And I told them what our intentions were. And a lot of them gave us advice and said, sometimes it's easier to do this. It's more expensive to do this. And there's so many different ways you can get into ice cream in the state of Arizona. For instance, you could make ice cream from your own dairy farm. You could do it with raw milk if you wanted to, but you could only do it out of your own farm, your own shop. You couldn't wholesale it. And so learning just rules about different scenarios. Yes. If you're going to do packaging, there's certain rules. If you're going to be doing wholesale just in like 3-gallon tubs, there's certain rules. And so I spent 3 to 5 months just in conversations back and forth with the Department of Agriculture trying to understand what to do and what not to do. But I think that's a big part of the opening an ice cream shop, and a lot of people might skip that. And I'm glad we didn't, because it just, when it comes to inspections, when it comes to anything, when we're dealing with government, anybody, we kind of show them, here's what we're doing, here's what we've done, what else do we need? And we've always been in compliance, and we'll see as we grow. I imagine it'll get a little bit more challenging when we're dealing with more milk and cream, but
but like anything, it's building relationships, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what ice cream's all about.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that it's a family. I love that it's ice cream in Flagstaff. And any last words? What's a great moment from the shop?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. They all revolve, I think, in my opinion, around our regulars that come in and their families.
Yeah.
And just these experiences you have, particularly with the kids that are maybe 5 to like 8 years old.
Yeah.
They're just in that range where they all love ice cream. And just the little moments where, mom comes in for a little bite and then they just turn away. Just, no, you're not having any of my ice cream. Like, it's those moments. And hearing from our regulars where a really cute story, they were coming down. They lived right north of our shop up in Greenlaw neighborhood. Yeah. Their son came in. He loves Rocky Route 66. And so he had his Rocky Route 66, which is our Rocky Road. And he's sprinting back to his house to see his mom. He falls down, but somehow manages to keep the ice cream above his head. I mean, I think any normal little 7, 8-year-old would just be bawling, terrified, but he gets up and was like, it's okay. I saved the ice cream. And so like hearing moments like that. And I mean, our electrician, I got to give him credit where credit's due. He was working on some stuff in the back of the shop while we were serving customers, and he made an observation to us as he was about to leave and was like, you guys don't sell ice cream. And kind of looking at each other like,
what are you talking about,
Brad, what are you talking about? No, you sell happiness. Oh. And it was like, that's the best thing I've ever heard, because that is why we got into this, was to do something that not only we love doing, and I love making ice cream. I love hanging out with my brother. I mean, that's my job. That sounds crazy, but that's my job. But being able to provide just a smile, some kindness, some happiness for the day, every day, to a random person, to someone new, someone strange. It's just a really cool feeling.
That's outstanding.
Yes.
Thank you for coming by and visiting and telling us about Timberline Ice Cream. Thanks for joining us for The Best of Flagstaff, brought to you by Flagstaff Video Podcast.